And as I've told you, and I've been playing a track for the last 2 months or so right here on Alive 90.5, what I like about my job, which has not been paid, I just loved what I'm doing, I love to YouTube and check out a lot of the new artists that are available in Australia. And I always Google and have a listen to people and their talents. And it never ceases to amaze me how many talented people we have in this country. And this girl has certainly got a great talent. Now, before I introduce you to her, I just want to read something which is very interesting. I've got a little lot of little write-up here. It's called gobianca.com. Now, she's a writer. She writes, she takes photos. She has radio shows. She is just basically a very talented lady. And gobianca.com says this: Dani Madeline, the Australian Wonder Voice. And it reads just like this. A few years ago, a dear old friend of mine, and I'll just go on and on and on, it says, I heard one of her songs and I thought that she was excellent and talented singer. However, it did not strike me as an amazing wonder voice until, this is the big one, I heard her sing her tribute to Oliva Newton-John. And at this moment, I was under her spell. Wow. Now, that was put down by that lady. And I agree with her because I've been listening to a lot of the YouTube songs she's got, and I love her voice. But when I heard the actual track, Hopelessly Devoted to You, by, of course, Dani Madeline, she got me. Now, with a bit of luck, I should have her on air. Dani, are you there?
Hi, yes, I'm here.
Well, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
And as I said, when I listened to your revamp of the Oliva Newton, well, not revamp, but your version of the Oliva Newton-John's track, it took me. And you know what? I've been listening to revamps, remixes, new people putting down tracks most of my life for over 37 years of radio. And as soon as I heard this particular version, I said, wow, this is the best version I've heard. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. That means so much to me, honestly. Thank you.
And tell me a little bit about yourself. Now, let's go right back into what makes Dani tick.
Right back. Okay. So I was born and raised in southwest Sydney, and I always went to...
A Westie, great stuff.
Yes, a Westie. I went to regular school, no like special performing arts school or anything like that, but whenever there was anything musical available, I was always the first one putting my hand up, so school choir or anything like that. So it was no secret that music meant a lot to me. I remember on Saturdays I would just watch music videos on Channel V. I loved watching Australian Idol, so music's always been a massive part of my life. And it was no secret to anybody when it came time for Year 12 and we were all talking about what we were going to do after school. When I said I was going to study music, no one was really shocked by that. So I studied a Bachelor of Music at Western Sydney University, and since then I've done gigs wherever I could for the council or private events like weddings. But the best thing for me, and it's a great hobby of mine, I've been uploading covers, like you mentioned, onto my YouTube channel since about 2014. And yeah, the reception's been amazing and I love doing it and will continue to do it as long as I can.
Yeah, you've got a lot of viewers there and you've got a lot of subscribers, which I noticed. Listen, one thing I think is a big plus with you as opposed to a lot of artists I've interviewed over the years is that you actually have gone and taken control of your life in regards to educating yourself and moving forward, because a lot of people don't do that. And when they find how hard, and it is hard to crack the entertainment market, they really don't have anything to sort of lay back on. So congratulations to you in regards to that.
Thank you. I think just for me, music means so much to me. I wanted to learn everything about it that I could. So I really enjoyed those 3 years I spent at Western Sydney University.
Fair enough. And why, just tell me a little bit of what you have in mind for the future. Obviously, you know, where do you want to go from here? I mean, obviously you've got a great voice. So what do you see yourself doing apart from YouTubing and doing this now? Where do you think you'll want to head from here?
Well, I'd love to put out original music at some point. I just want to keep doing music as much as I can, whether that's full-time, part-time, just as a hobby. I don't really mind. It's something I love so much. So success to me is doing what you love in any capacity, and as long as I can keep doing what makes me happy, I always see music as part of my life in whatever way that ends up being.
I noticed you've just put out a duet. So you can tell me a little bit about that particular track. It's a beautiful track. With a bit of luck, I might be able to get that played on air over the next few weeks. But tell me a little bit about that one. It's fantastic. And who is the artist with you?
Are you talking about my High School Musical duet?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, so I did a collaboration recently with another very talented musician, Chris Malia, and he reached out to me because we both love Disney and musicals, and actually my highest viewed track on my channel is a cover of Surface Pressure from Encanto. So he messaged me, we have this mutual love of Disney, and he wanted to collaborate on a High School Musical track, which was music to my ears because that's my favorite movie of all time. So we collaborated, we did 2 covers of High School Musical, and it was a lot of fun.
Now, as I said, I've heard a lot of versions of Oliva Newton-John's song, Hopelessly Devoted to You, and I believe this is the best version that I've ever heard in regards to really takes a lot out of it. Actually very emotional. Tell me a little bit about background out. Why did you actually pick, I mean, you pick all these songs, but you particularly picked certain songs, but why did you pick, for example, Olivia's song?
Oh, well, thank you so much for saying that again. Well, musicals are a big part of my life. I think the first movie musical I ever saw was Grease. And, of course, every little girl just falls in love with Sandy, and especially for an Australian, when you hear that Australian accent, it just makes you fall in love with her a little bit more. So I always knew I wanted to cover a song from Grease. But, you know, Olivia as a person, she's an incredible talent and just a beautiful soul. And I knew I was going to cover that song eventually, but when obviously that horrible news came out this year, I just had to pay tribute to her in the best way that I knew how, which was music. And it's a beautiful, timeless song, and I tried to give it the same emotion that she did. Obviously, it's big shoes to fill, and I would never even try to fill those shoes, but even knowing that you love my version, and thankfully a lot of people have loved my version.
Well, I think
means a lot to me.
I think Go Bianca loves your version too, and I agreed with everything she said in that write-up. Tell me a little bit about her. Did she just ring you one day and said she wanted to do a write-up on you? In that write-up? Yeah, so she reached out. She wanted to interview me because we had a mutual friend, and my mutual friend, she's in spirit now, rest her soul. She was one of my biggest fans, biggest supporters, and she always shared my music. And this mutual friend would see that, and she was always very supportive as well. But like you mentioned, when she heard the Olivia track, she really just wanted to hear more about it, hear more about me. So we did a little, I guess, editorial interview sort of thing for her website. And, yeah, I was honoured. Yeah, I tell you, as I said, you know, I actually check out YouTube and new artists, and even in the community. Well, actually, let's talk right in regards to this. When it comes to community radio are the only stations in the whole of Australia that support artists. I know that people don't believe that, but there's so many thousands of CDs that come into our studios. We even have an area called Amprad where we pick them, and people ring up and give interviews with those artists, because, you know, the commercial stations don't care. They really don't care what's going on. And the only time which really annoys me over all the time I've been in radio, the only time commercial stations take things up is when actually they've been played in a lot of radio stations around the area, and they become very popular. And then suddenly the commercial station says, "Oh, this might be a hit, so we might take this up, and this is his latest hit." Blah blah blah. So it never ceases to amaze me that really over the years the community radio system has been so big in regards to getting things online and trying to help artists out. So that's our plug for the community radio stations, and I know it is true. So,
no, for sure. I'm definitely appreciative of the community radio stations, and, you know, a lot of my musician friends will feel the same way, and I've discovered so many incredible talents on community radio.
Yeah, it is. And really, you know, and community radio now actually holds about 19% of the total audience, because people listen to their local station and they love it. Now, listen, one last question I want to ask you before I let you go, Dani. Now, have a listen to this one, because it's very important, and a lot of people give me different answers to it. So I just want to see what you're going to say to this one. If you could sit on a bench and chat for 1 hour with anyone past or present, who would you let it be?
Oh my gosh, that is a massive question. How do you pick just one person? For lack of sounding, you know, obvious here, I think I would have to choose Oliva Newton-John, because I'm just so inspired by her, not only as an artist, but as a public figure. She used her platform for good, and her philanthropy is just so inspiring to me. And even like as an Aussie, making it out into such a massive movie like Grease, I'd just love to hear about her journey and just everything. I'd love to hear everything about her life and what she went through and what gave her the courage to just keep going and keep pushing.
I must admit, one thing about Oliva Newton-John you'll always remember is the power of positivity, the amazing positive person. It didn't matter and how bad she got, and she did get bad and very bad in those last few years. She was always there spending the time and saying to people, never going to go away, I'm going to be here and we're going to build this. It was just an amazing, positive person. And if any of us can learn about anything about Oliva Newton-John, it's about the positivity of life.
Absolutely. She was such a light. She's so inspiring, and her optimism is just something to learn from.
Okay, Dani, thank you very much for your time on Alive 90.5. And it's been a pleasure playing your track, and I've been playing it for a long time. I'll still play it for a long time. With a bit of luck, we might be able to get another version of something else, and we'll put it on here on Alive 90.5. And it goes without saying, to you and your family, have a great Christmas and New Year.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. I really appreciate it. And Merry Christmas to you and your family also. Okay,
see you, Dani. All the best.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, here's the track by Dani Madeline, hopelessly devoted to you. Hit mix on a Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning.
First heartbroken. My eyes are not the first to cry. I'm not the first to know. There's just no getting over you. I know I'm just a fool who's willing to sit around and wait for you. But baby, can't you see there's nothing else for me to do? what I intend to do. I'm hopelessly devoted to you. But now there's nowhere to hide since you pushed my love aside. I'm out of my head, hopelessly devoted to you. Hopelessly devoted to you. Hopelessly devoted to you.
There she is, our very own Dani Madeline. What a great track, Hopelessly Devoted to You. That was her version of the Oliva Newton-John track.